Today is the 19th of November, and I do believe that the prompt today for Gouachevember is lens. So we have a lovely, it's great because there's one image that we're going to be working from, so not too many choices, no choices, and I love it. It's by our good friend Silke, who is in Germany, but this was taken in Sicily, and it's really sweet. So I have paired this up with Monte di Nove, which was on our trip, and this has a lot of meaning as well. You may have read or heard me chat about the tunnel and how everything, all the little roads are so tiny, and it started raining in this town, and Jen C and I were getting caught in the rain just around the corner. We were painting, and so we ran here underneath the little archway, and there were two doorways, one here and one here. So we sat in this doorway, not expecting to be really close to being squashed every time a car would come by, because the car would literally fit through this tunnel with not much room on either side. Anyway, it made for a very funny 20 minutes of downpour and almost getting squished. So that was, I want to put this in my book because that was a fun memory. Good morning, everybody who is here with us today. I feel like I've been chatting and haven't said hello. I thought I had, well, I've got this palette paper is pretty messy, and I'm trying to see if I've got one underneath here, or maybe my glass is actually clean. No, my glass is not clean, but I do have some colors underneath here which I can reactivate as well. So I'm going to try and use what I have on my palette to work into this piece and the other piece as well. Good morning, Meryl. How are you? All right, so yesterday our prompt was wings, and for some reason I didn't see too many of everybody else's wings. So if you did have a wing, please do post it and tag me so that I can share it. I still have to catch up on some others, but today we are drawing a lens, so that's what we are working on. Walter World says good morning from the Washington DC area. Hi, good morning, welcome. Nice of you to join this morning. So this month we are working on everything gouache, and that's why it's called Gouachevember, and it's run by two lovely ladies, Cortney and Daria Penta. And we usually do our own prompts, but every November I've been using their prompts for the past 5 years, so I thought, why change it? It's nice to join their community as well, and so that's what we've been doing. So the prompts are different every day, and you can find that on Gouachevember over on Instagram. They have their own Instagram page, and the prompts are there. I think I have a screenshot as well. Maybe it's not in on my iPad, but I'll check. I'll double check. But anyway, you can go and find that. Let's have it. I'm just going to have a quick peek because I may have it on here. And you know, I may not. I don't think I do. I don't think I do. But it's very easy to find. So, yeah, go and have a look for it. We have what's called our group, our BSA group, Blue Shine Art Group, has a Padlet, and on the Padlet we all share. Oh, here it is. I can share the prompt list with you. So this is the prompt list. If you want to take a screenshot, you can have a look at that. We are now on lens, and yesterday was wings. So this is their Gouache Vember, and you can see that's their Instagram account. So anybody can access this, but as a art club, we share images for the actual prompts. So, which is really lovely because we just enter into our Padlet. It's called a Padlet, and then we look at the prompts. So yesterday I had added the bird, which is what I did yesterday. I'm not sure if anybody else did the parakeet, but that's what I did. And then I'm pairing it up with Italian imagery from my most recent art retreat, so in Italy. So that's why I was talking about this tunnel, because this is the prompt, but I tried to find something in my camera roll, and I'm going to take that live off. Something in my camera roll which reflected the same colors. So we've got our darks, we've got some greens, we've got this warm peachy tone. So I have the warm peachy tone, I have the darks, I have the greens, and so similar color palette so that I can work on both of them at the same time. So that's what my month is looking like, and other people are doing different things. So I'm going to work on this one first, and probably look at the negative space. So because my page is a little more narrow, I'm going to have to crop this page slightly, so this image slightly. Make this a little bit. So my crop would probably be more like this. So you have to really pay attention to your substrate, what you're working on, like what surface, and the proportions of your image. So I feel like it's more like that, because trying to squish in an image, then all your proportions will get out of whack. Louise says, morning, I haven't painted for a few days. What do you mean you haven't painted for a few days? I hope everything's okay. Like, have you been sketching? What have you been up to? I'm just going to put some cream on my hands. They are very dry. Hi, Barbara. Good morning. How are you? Good morning, Susan. Hi, C. I don't think I said hi to you. I said hi to Meryl. And Water World, we have a new viewer here. And anybody else who is here, that looks like there's 13 of you guys here. Louise says, yes, just sketching. I did the bikes replay. Oh, did you like it? What did you sketch with? Interested to know, because I painted. So I don't even know which book I painted in. Somewhere. Oh, here it is. So yeah, mine were very, very rough, and these were just 3 minutes from a lovely little bike museum we went to in Italy. And I have a fun session that we're going to be doing on Saturday, everybody. I could tell you, but that means it wouldn't be a surprise. Or if you want, you don't have to. It doesn't have to be a surprise. But it's going to be on Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, if you guys are around to join me in that session. Louise says, ink pen mostly, but really enjoyed it. Oh, good. Hi, Nanette. How are you? Good morning. Good morning, good morning. All right. Let's get started. Interested to see how you found us, Waterworld, because, you know, there are lots of ways that people can find this channel. There's Instagram, there's Substack, there's Pinterest. Yeah, interested. Let us know how you found us. Lots of people find us in different ways, so And Silky, thank you for the photo. It's great. Gotta make sure that camera fits. Is anybody doing a different image than this? It's I know that some people like working from their own images, and that is absolutely fine. But there was only one image this morning, so if you are doing gouache Vember, it'll be interesting to see who's working from a different lens picture. If Teresa is here, Teresa from North Carolina, congratulations on the opening of your little art gallery. It's wonderful. You must be super proud that you got it done. It is up and running. I love it. Okay, gonna get I'm really going with like shapes and negative spaces for this one because I feel like it's gonna be helpful. I should also work on the other one while I'm doing this one, but let's just get some big shapes in here first, and then we will come back to the other one, or start on the other one. See, this is too dark. Can you believe we only, and the session on Saturday, it will be helpful for the holiday season. I'm just saying that. I guess everybody chose to not want to know and keep the surprise. But I'm going to send out the Luma link today, so you will get a little bit more of an idea of what it is once you get the Luma. So that, keep an eye out for that, okay? It really becomes like a little puzzle when you work like this. which some people may enjoy and some people may just think it's doing their head in. All right, I'm going to have a look at this one, and I know that I can get the floor in, which should be a tiny little bit more, oops, with the yellow tones to it. If you have a purple that's too purple, just add a little bit. If you want a grey, just add a little bit of yellow to it. That usually helps. Susan says, will the Saturday session? Yes, absolutely, Susan. All paint and draw sessions are recorded, Susan. Did you find the paint and draw pinned post on Substack? If you haven't found it yet, I will send it to you. And in there is they're all the past sessions, so you can go back and you can have a look at all of those. Hello, guten Abend, guten Tag, guten alle, Martina. Good morning, Carolyn. How are you? I hope you're having a good week. I know it's only Wednesday. I had to think about that. It is Wednesday today. Wednesday already. Okay. Teeny tiny little bit of red to go in here and make it more that flesh color. And then this is much darker, but I want to first, actually I can just mix it with some of this purple. I'm going to put it up next to it and see how much darker I need to make this. I always do the squint your eyes test when it comes to something like value, because that'll give you the better, like, because when there's a lot of textures and things like that, you really do need the squint your eye value test, because that helps figure out exactly if you've got the value right or not, whether it's dark enough. Is that dark enough? I think maybe that is dark enough. Okay. Is everybody doing the same lens picture? I know not everybody's doing the gouache Fember. Guten Nacht, Mittag. Good evening, midday. Do you even say that? Is that something that you say in Germany? Guten Nacht, Mittag. Oh, Susan says, oh good, I'll look for it. Yeah. It's one of the pinned posts. So when you go into the BSA club, under paint and draw sessions, if you're on your computer, it's there. Sometimes it's a little confusing. It can be a little bit confusing, but you know, If you have problems, I can help you out. Meryl, which one are you drawing? Which one are you on? I know some people are not awake yet and drawing yet. It's early for some people. All right, there really isn't any blue. So what I'm doing is I'm just trying to get some darker tones mixed up here because, well, the tunnel is very dark. So that I have to make sure that I don't have much white on my brush at all, and I can go much darker. But I can take some yellow into there, and that'll push it back. And then I'm going to also so I have the list of the states for birds in December, and that is going to be released either today or tomorrow, probably tomorrow, because I don't want you getting confused with the Luma for this weekend. So we'll have at least 10 days to populate the birds in December Padlet. And then I still have to figure out what I want to do. I don't know, I'm still a little bit, it's hard because for the past few years, you know, we've done alphabet books and we've done ornaments and we've done patterned birds and I've done birds on heads and I've done people holding birds, and so, you know, a lot has been done, and I'm just wondering what else. And I've done just regular traditional birds. We've done birds with patterns in the background, patterns with patterns on the backs of birds. I don't know. I could make a shirt full of embroidered birds, but I'm not sure if I can embroider a bird in 1 hour. I don't know. Do you think you could embroider a bird in 1 hour? It's a little bit of a challenge to think like, what can I do in an hour, because I don't want it. I have other things that I need to get done during the day. So the morning practice is a morning practice just for that hour. So vintage birds, what a great idea, Meryl. Oh, are you doing vintage, the prompt, or are you doing or you were saying vintage birds? Biddy Penny, hi Biddy Penny, good morning. Biddy Penny says, I'm excited about the bird theme in December. And Nanette says, I know I couldn't embroider that fast. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, you could do like applique, right? With like sewn applique. That is something I think that could be done in an hour. I mean, it would be really lovely to do something practical that you're going to use. We were talking about that the other day. And I think it was Louise and I, and, you know, really thinking about next year and how doing practical things. We've talked about this before in our group, and just thinking about lots of things that we want to get done in the year, whether it's a calendar for 2026 or Christmas cards. And we started off strong last year, doing all those cards. We did start off strong, but, you know, and it's a balance between like a practice that you want to practice something, or practicality, do you want something that you can use in your year? Like, are you spending an hour making things that you want to use, or are you spending that hour just practicing your art and craft? But I see a lot more of our group steering more towards whether it's working from their images or whether it's using it in their own sense of like style, and which I love. I think that's great. Have you done birds as a repeat pattern? We've done, so 2 years running. Do I have, hang on, I think I have some of them here. Oh, this is kind of a mix, because the first, was this the first year? No, I think this was the first year. Was it 2020? Yeah, this was in 2020. So we did birds with patterns behind them. We also used patterned papers behind the birds. So I did the birds in, hang on, and not necessarily, the birds sometimes were done in gouache. They were sometimes done in watercolor. And then some of the birds were collaged, like this was a collaged bird. Yeah, so we have done repeat patterns. We've also done ornaments. We cut out, and this was like, that was a big year as well. We cut out cardboard birds, and then on the one side there was a realistic bird, and then on the other side there was a pattern. And I use kind of what I'm doing here, and I've done in many months, is use the colors from the bird on the pattern on the back. And that was really sweet. Yeah, so these were, this was in, oh, so this was, yeah, this was in 2020. So this was our first Birds in December together. I had started Birds in December in 2019 on my own, like as a project that I did on my own. And then some people joined that. Not anybody from here, I don't think. Maybe, I'm not sure. Yeah, these were, so, you know, this was all painted, but then there was some collage on top of here. And this one, this is Japanese paper, and this is a gouache bird. This is Japanese paper, and then collaged patterns on top of this is collage, and then this is watercolor. This was acrylic gouache, I think. Yeah. So, and then Liberty paper in the background. That was a fun year, and I can make those into cards if I wanted to, right? So, you know, doing something that brings you something more, if you want to make more of it with your, like if you have a website or if you have an Etsy shop, or then you could do something like that, or for gift giving and stuff like that. So it's thank you, Nanette. Oh, and Nanette says, I mean repeating the bird itself as a pattern, so each bird would be small rows and rows of birds. I mean, no, you could do that. I'm not sure if I would like to do a repeat of one bird over and over. I mean, it would be cool. That would probably be better if you could repeat it on a digital format, I think. It may be a little bit, I mean, you probably do it very well. I always think too painterly, and then I end up, you know, spending hours on each one. So I think, yeah, it's Biddy Penny says mixed media birds with 3 mediums could also be fun. Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways you can do it. It's that, I think that for me is the challenge of like trying to figure out what I want to do in December with the birds. Because when I did the birds on people's heads with portraits of either people I knew or portraits from the sketchy museum app, that took a lot longer than I had planned. So, and I was in England at the time and I didn't really know what I was going to do, and I was combining the sketchy, like just the profiles from sketchy with my project, with my month of birds, and it just turned into something a little bit bigger. But I love how they turned out, so sometimes you have to be okay with it taking longer. So I'm just getting a really light coat and flat layer on here, and just blocking in all the colors. It's the wrong brush for this. I love the birds and patterns too, Martina. That was a lot of fun. Both those years that we did patterns and birds. Oh, yeah. Well, I guess I've included patterns in a lot of them. But Anne says, here's an idea. How about a bird with a wreath shape around it? The wreath could have leaf shapes of berries or items related to the bird and its habitat or myth. That sounds really great. I did have one idea. I'm going to play around with it a little bit and I will let you know what you think. So, but yeah, I like that idea. And that's a great idea. Because then, well, you don't have to you can just do the head if you wanted to just do the head as well. You don't have to do the whole bird. You could just focus on the head within the wreath, or did you mean like the whole bird? Okay, I have some greens that I can reactivate here. Just gonna do that with a little bit of water. Biddy Penny says, I'm currently illustrating a swan paper pack and I'm finding myself ready to move on after painting so many swans. I would find it challenging to do the same bird all month. Well, it would be different birds every day. Right? The chosen bird that you choose. Like, I understand where, also because Nanette, you come from a graphic background, so I mean you could definitely use some programs to help you repeat your pattern. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And making it more graphic is totally fine as well. I think people have to realize that if you If you want to use, you know, digital media, you could use digital media for birds in December. It doesn't have to be analog, even though the majority of us will probably use analog. But there are some people who use more digital. That's fine. Not sure if I'm getting the hand right here. This needs to be blue, this top, but just getting this in first. Reb says, that'd be cool. The bird that collects blue things could just have a collection of odd blue items around it. That's really cool too. I like that. And that says, yes, Photoshop or Illustrator would be helpful. Paint the bird first, then scan it. Biddy Penny says, I like the idea of wreaths with a variety of collected items. It's always fun brainstorming ideas like this with everyone because there's so many good ideas. Esty says, how about combining the bird with some landscape from the country it's from? That's also a lovely idea. Yeah, I like that idea as well. Or you could draw people with a tattoo of the bird on them and do bird tattoos. That would be kind of cool too. So like there's so many different ways you can approach it. I also like the idea of birds dressed up in maybe traditional dress from that country, or in I don't know, specific colors. I mean, do you want to make it realistic or do you want to make it fun? Or a recognizable icon, the Eiffel Tower or the pyramid. Yeah, it's, you know what, and it's finding that the flow, which is really, I feel like is important. Once you've found that, like once you've figured it out and you can do it every day, it becomes a really lovely series to kind of revisit each day and not feel overwhelmed. Like that's the one thing that I really want to make sure that I don't get overwhelmed with the daily bird, because yeah, you could go really deep into many different ways you can approach it. So. Okay, I'm going to go back to this image and just add a little bit of color. I think I am almost, I'm really getting into these colors and emptying them out so that I can refill them eventually. And then you could, if you really wanted to, you know, do a design that you can bring into a software, so that, or bring into like a print shop so that you can make printing like cards out of. So they could be quite generic, but they could be a gift card for next year. So it's or do you pick a different color for each day, and you just run through each color and you just paint that bird in those colors using different values of the colors. I mean, birds are pretty special in their own right, so maybe you don't do that because that would be taking away from the wonderful colors of the individual birds. Yeah, that's like, I'm gonna scrap that idea. I do like the items all being one color though. Reb, you're good like that, like limiting that side. That would be cool. Or do you take each day and multiply the bird by the day? So on day 1, you only have 1 bird. On day 2, you have 2 of them. And as it keeps going, your page fills up with those amount of birds. But that kind of pulls us back into too many birds. Too many birds in one day. You could also, thinking about gifts, you could also get some glasses from, you know, a thrift store, and you could paint glass. You could paint vases for the whole month just with birds on, and you could give them as Christmas gifts. You could make little pins. Okay, I made that a little bit too gray. Okay, so moving with a smaller brush, going back to the other side. Try this one. I need to work on my dark colors, so I'm going to do that. Mix up maybe put it over here, a very dark purple. It's more like a navy blue. I also thought, okay, so this was another one. I also thought about doing a zine a day. So very similar to August, but so on the one side, do a very painterly scene of the actual bird, whether it's in flight, whether it's in, you know, maybe have a couple of different ways the bird moves, or whether it's, you know, living in a certain tree or around a certain foliage. And then on the actual, in the zine, have where it's from, its habitat, a little bit about it, and almost like a little story of the bird. So that was another idea, because I do like the zine idea. I think it has, you know, potential for more. Maybe if you don't finish the actual written side, then that's something that you can add to it. That's also a thought. If you don't finish it, you know, during the day or in the morning, you can take it with you and finish it and find more facts about that bird. Do some more sketches, use mixed media. Maybe like Anne said, put a recognizable icon and SD. You could put your landscapes. You could, you know, that seems like a lot of work, but it would be a really fun project to complete. And it doesn't have to be completed. It's almost like a holiday project that you complete in your own time. It becomes a little bit bigger than just a bird painted. I don't know. What do you think? Or or a concertina book. That is also a nice idea. Concertinas are lovely. Okay, I'm going. Made his nose a little bit too big. Yeah. It's so weird. He really looks like a good friend of ours here in Canada. Okay, so his nose is way too big, so I'm going to correct that by putting more negative space in there. And I can go a little bit darker with this, with the child's hair. You could also do just like a little mini zine. And then if you do have like a shop, you could sell the little zines either as a set, or that would be quite cool as well. Ooh, a birdhouse concertina. Ooh, that sounds great. Love that. Essie says, I think a combination of zine and fax is the best one for me. Yeah, I think it may be a really good one for a lot of us who, you know, like if you're busy or if you're moving around, and I know that December is busy for a lot of people, so that may work for a lot of people. Instead of just a static piece of paper, it's nice to look back on. You can keep them. You can make a little box. You could make a birdhouse box for your little zines. That would be sweet. And if you do a zine, you can either share it. We could share them. So if you wanted to share a picture of it, and then people can print it out, and then you can have other people's zines, or you can sell your zines. It'll be good for Reb if you're doing Zine Fest again next year. You'd have a whole bunch of zines already made. Okay, the hand is a little bit weird. I'm not going to worry too much about it right now. C says, Esty and Rebs, something Ed sounds great to me. Omni Ed sounds great. Oh, combined. Yeah. I do like, I don't think we have done in the past where the bird is from. And I think because we are focusing on people's locations, I think that would be kind of nice. We could even put a little portrait of the person who submitted the bird, like where they're from. So for example, Esty, we could do a little portrait of you in the concertina, like a little mini. Maybe we can call it the mini month of birds. But you can still do a big bird on the opposite side, on the big side. That would be cool. Or you can paint the big bird on the one side and fold it up so you have like background to write on. Yes, with facts inside. Rev says, yeah, little house for each bird might need a little paper engineering. Oh. Okay, good luck with that, Reb. That sounds super complicated. I was thinking just one birdhouse, like a regular birdhouse that you put all the little birds in, or the concertinas in. But you sound like you've got, your brain is ticking and going, what could I do with this? I mean, that would be pretty spectacular. All right, well, I will get you guys the list and the Padlet ASAP so that you can start planning, because it sounds like there's going to be quite a lot of planning going on. And I feel like it would be really good to get you that as soon as possible. Okay, let me correct. I don't know if I can get that exact color of the ground. I can try. I've got some over here left. I'm gonna make his nose slightly smaller. It's a bit grayer, but that's okay. Well, I'm glad we had this little chat because I feel like it's nice to eliminate, narrow things down. Nanette says, how about Zoe's idea similar to an advent calendar where each little door opens to a bird? Okay, that's something that we have to plan in August. Nanette. I mean, it would be really lovely, but then, you know, the fun of it is having it pre-done so that you can enjoy the opening of the calendar. But it's definitely something, I mean, if you want to make one for next year, I mean, that's also a good idea. Okay, I'm going to go back here and see where I can. I don't know if this is, it's not much lighter. I'm going to just take the white and mix it here, because although that shutter is white, it's because it's in shadow, it's definitely not white. So I'm just going to put that up here. Oh my goodness, look at the time. How did that happen? Anybody? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Martina. It's super simple. I do like painting like this, but you know, even if you start off like this, you can just focus on the details afterwards. It's a little bit muddy. My colors are a little bit muddy on this one. I do want to just brighten up the sky, so I'm just going to take white and actually go over. See, this is why I always say leave your paper white where your lightest areas are, because you will never get it as bright as the paper if you are using white paper. And I know that, but because I made the mistake of this arch, the arch was a little bit off. I had to correct that, and then that just brought in a little bit more gray. But I want that to be the brightest part, so I need to pull that in. Now, if you were using acrylic wash, you wouldn't have an issue because it would just lay on top and it doesn't reactivate. It's just acrylics basically. But because we're using, or some of us using traditional gouache, that's where you almost have to work it like watercolors and leave that white. It really does, it does help. Okay, well that's a little bit brighter. And once I put the darker trees, then I think it'll be better. Oh, and good morning, Maria. She says, I'm looking forward to seeing Zoe's production. Bravo. Yes. Zoe, if you are re-watching or listening to this, we cannot wait. Maria, we were just talking about birds in December, and I think a lot of us may be doing little concertinas or zines again, because, and thinking about their habitat, maybe a little story that you can find. Maybe there are people who have written poems. Maybe there are quotes that you want to include. I think they could be these little treasure books with the daily birds. So I think that's a great idea. And Reb had the idea of making a book, like a box. No, what was it? A house? Oh, you were going to make a house. Were you going to make a, like, its natural habitat house? Like the type of nest? I was thinking of a birdhouse box to put all the zines in. That's what I was thinking, because that wouldn't be too difficult to construct. But I think Reb was thinking a lot harder of a project. I think she wanted to make each zine the shape of the nest or birdhouse. Okay, so that's a little bit darker. Now I can put some more yellow on to make a dark green. Yeah, sounds like a good idea. Bird zines. Oh, they could even be in the shape of the bird. The zine could be in the shape of the bird. How difficult would that be? Not so difficult if it was a concertina, right? I think a cute birdhouse. I just made a prototype. You did? You're so fast. Can't wait to see it. Looking forward to it. I need to, and maybe I'll use paper, like old paper, and just repaint it with some acrylic paint instead of going out and buying new paper. Maria says, I just saw an artist who made birdhouses out of translucent paper. Ooh, that sounds cool. Or like an envelope, like a pocket, translucent pocket to put your zine or your bird in. Maybe just like an envelope to put all the goodies in, and they could be envelope packages of these birds, different birds. Doesn't even have to be a zine. It could just be a little packet. You could have 31 little packets full of goodies. Thank you, C. I know, we're past 8 o'clock. But I don't think I have to walk right yet. Right, not quite. I've taken Piper out already. I took her out at 5:30 this morning. Betty Penny says, I like the packets idea. Yeah. Wouldn't that be fun? Little envelopes, translucent envelopes, so you could see things inside. I think I need to make this wall darker as well. Well, there's definitely lots to think about when it comes to our month of birds, which is not that far away. All right. Just a few little details, and then I will be calling it a day, a morning. The yellow is really, really running out. I really wanted to make that wall slightly darker, so I'm going to do that quickly now. Just create more of an irregular edge to this wall. Do you hear my stomach? My stomach is growling. It's funny because on Zoom you don't have to worry about all those little things like background noises, but on YouTube I feel like it picks up a lot more. Okay, that is definitely darker. It needs to be more orange at the top here. Susan says maybe like seed packets with bird seed inside them. Ooh, that's kind of cool too. And a little seed packet, that would be super sweet. Biddy Penny said you could fill them with native leaves, large painted seeds, and random goodies. Ooh, that would be really cool too. Biddy Penny says then Reb's random bird collection idea would work as well as the wreaths. And says the contrast you added, the sky really made it pop. Yeah, it changes it, doesn't it? Like it does change it. Oh, I thought Miss Piper was down here. I guess she's not. She must have stayed upstairs. I just heard her jump off the couch. Here she comes. I hear her. I really do need like 2 hours in the morning, I think, to when I'm doing like a double spread. I don't know what I think when I'm doing something like this and think, oh yeah, I can just do that. And then realize that actually I can't do that in an hour. That doesn't work. So, but that's on me. And if Louisa was here in Barcelona, she'd be like, yeah, sure, but that's kind of what you do. Every month you say, I'm going to make it simple. Every month is not, doesn't become that simple. It becomes a little bit more complicated. Okay, just going back to the guy, and then I should probably take my lady out for a nice walk. Because when I got up this morning, it was actually quite nice outside. Okay. Kind of went wrong with the shape of his chin, so I'm correcting that. And then underneath here needs to be a little bit darker, but not too dark. Thank you for joining. If you are here and you've been here for the whole hour and a little bit, we'll be back tomorrow. It is Thursday. I'm not sure what the prompt is, but I will have a look. And yeah, we can elaborate a little bit more on the bird. I think it's nice when people also just jump into it with however they want to do it, because realistically you have to make it work for you. So don't ever feel pressured to do everything that everybody else is. If you just want to draw a bird a day, just a bird, then do that. Don't overcomplicate. Okay, his hand needs to be darker down here, and I need to just give a little bit more depth to his hand, and maybe size wise as well. The wrong shape nose here. Did you hear it? My belly is speaking to me. All right, I think I may just, oh, his glasses. I was going to say, I think I may just leave it like that. But I feel like if somebody wears glasses like this, that's kind of their thing. They wear them a lot on. It's quite an Italian thing to do. Put your glasses on your head. I didn't see it this time, but when I used to go to Italy a lot in my 20s, guys would have hair bands as well to keep their hair back. Like not just a hair band, but a headband, like a, you know. Okay, the ear's a bit weird, but I'm just going to leave it like that. Silky, thank you for the photo. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Yes, watch the replay and let me know what you think about the bird chat, Amy, because I know that you're always good at leaving comments on that. So thank you, everybody. And just a reminder that people do have stickers. I need to find my other stickers. People in our group do have stickers. We have Maria from Ohio, who is opinionologist on Substack, and she has stickers. I love these stickers. They're fantastic. And then Hippo, I found her other sticker. Hippo has stickers as well. She has a YouTube channel and I think a Ko-fi store, so you can buy her zines and stickers from there. Made by Reb has stickers. I don't have any of Reb's stickers yet, but yeah, have a look for those. Thank you, thank you. I will see you guys tomorrow, and have a really good day. Bye, everybody.